Okay, today we're going to be reading a book called The Invisible Boy. You can pull that up on your Chromebook if you want to read along with me. Has anybody ever read this book?
Yeah.
You have? Let me see if I can make this bigger. There. Okay. So, why I'm reading this book is because I want to talk about empathy and feeling left out. Has anybody ever felt left out?
No.
Part of a group, and you weren't included.
Sometimes.
People don't include you, and you want to be part of the group. Nobody's ever felt like that?
Sometimes.
Feel lonely, right? So, how does that make you feel when you're included versus not included? When you're not included, it makes you feel, and when you are included, it makes you feel happy. Very good. So, empathy is what we're talking about, and empathy is the ability to understand and share feelings. Like you understand how they're feeling. Think about a time when you have empathized with someone. Think about a time when you felt sorry for someone, you felt happy for someone. Let me think. Give us an idea. No? Okay. So let's say your friend fell down and scraped her knee. Would you feel happy or sad for her?
I don't just take
That's
out.
empathizing, right?
I don't just.
If somebody got an F on their homework for not doing it, would you feel sorry for
Like a
them?
feeling class.
True. If somebody's failing the class, would you feel sorry for them?
No.
Never mind. All right. So I want you to remember those key points while I start reading. Make sure we can go. There we go. Okay. I don't even know if I need to read it from here. All right. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy?
No.
Even
Why
Miss
is it small?
Carlotti has trouble noticing him in class. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Can anybody see the invisible boy in that picture? You can't see him?
Oh, I see it. Wait, you skip it.
Can you see the invisible boy? Yep. Right here. He's the only one without color, right?
You don't see it? I think he.
Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti says, volume control. He uses his outside voice inside way too much. And Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. Look at sweet little Brian. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. Then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian's left, still waiting and hoping. How do you think Brian feels right now?
Sorry.
Would you like to feel like Brian?
No.
No. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. Look at Brian. What's he gonna do? He feels sad. He needs a friend. I like your expressions, Rylan. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, said Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everyone did, except for Brian. He wasn't invited. We're all feeling a little sad for Brian right now, right? At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at the table doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons scaling tall buildings. Somebody in here likes to draw. Space aliens locked in intergalactic battles. He's a pretty good artist. Greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? Asked Madison as she points to Justin's food. And the kids laugh, all of them, that is, except for Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. I wonder what that is. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looks good. Bulgogi is what he was eating with the chopsticks, I guess. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. Yes, hey Justin, Amelia calls out to the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asked the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads towards Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find someone else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Is he happy or sad? Why is he sad?
He had no friends.
He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't
Why
have a
he
partner.
nervous?
Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let's let him work with us. Okay, I guess. Emilio's real nice, isn't he? Yeah. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in the photograph. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in a house like that? Can you see the picture?
I guess.
I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, he says.
What?
Brian smiles, he takes out his lucky pen. What's happening to Brian? Does anybody notice what's happening to Brian?
Pumpkin?
Look at,
He happy.
what happened to him?
He sad.
He was gray there.
Yeah.
Now what? He's getting some color?
Mhm.
And even more color?
Mhm.
Yay, Brian. I am the narrator if you're working. Why a pirate got the part of a narrator, I'll tell you. It's all in the agent. So this is sort of the story they made up.
Mhm.
They're talking about pirates. It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone shout, hey Brian, over here. Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all.
Ian.
The end. Okay, so you guys have index cards. I want you to think about some ways that you can include people. What would you do if there was a friend sitting by himself? You can write something, you can draw something.
I draw a stick, man.
And while you're doing that, real quick, how did Brian feel at the beginning of the story?
Sad.
How did he feel at the end? I
lonely.
know. How did he feel at the end?
The end, he feels so unhappy.
Happy. Why do you think Justin decided to include Brian? Remember, Justin was the
Yeah.
new student?
Mhm.
Why do you think Justin wanted to include Brian? Anybody?
Wait a minute.
Do you think that Justin maybe felt left out and alone because
Yeah.
he was a new student
No.
and he wanted to include Brian because he didn't want
Yeah.
Brian to feel that way?
Yeah.
That's one reason. How did Brian's classmates' perception of him change throughout the story? Good. So what happens at the end? How do the classmates treat him?
Good.
At the end, they treat him good. What happened in the beginning?
Not good.
Not good. All right, so on your card, what are some ways that we can show empathy and inclusion toward others in our lives? You could draw a picture. You can write something positive. You just want to show kindness and inclusion in their classroom or community, and then we're going to display these cards
Why?
on the wall as a reminder to practice empathy every day.
Every day one.
Thank you.
No.